Comment 1474 comes from the fact that we're a bit naughty, us maths teachers. Whenever we're teaching the quadratic formula, we like to keep it simple by giving you examples that are all kind of the same initially. And we tell you that that's A, that's B, and that's C. And it sometimes leads to the impression that A is the first thing, B is the second thing, and C is the third thing. Well, first of all, that's a very imprecise expression. It's not the things, and it's not even the terms. It's the coefficients of the terms. So the B in this one is not 5x, it's 5, and therefore in the quadratic formula, the B will become a 5, not a 5x. But worse than that, A is not anything to do with the first thing, B is not anything to do with the second thing, and C is not anything to do with the third thing. A is the coefficient of x squared. It's what's with the x squared multiplying by it. B is the coefficient of the x. It's what's with the x multiplying it. And C is the term on the end that's being added that has no hint of an x within it. Now, the more you get into this unhelpful groove of thinking that it's first, second, third, the less likely you are to be able to deal with questions like that. Now that's an artificial example because there's much better ways to solve that than the quadratic formula. But it's just an example for the purpose of demonstrating this. Now, in this case, it can sometimes help to treat the subtraction as the addition of a negative, because subtraction can always be thought of as the addition of a negative. And it might also help to imagine that there's a 1 there, because you can always imagine something is being multiplied by a hidden 1. So, what's the number multiplying by the x squared? What's the coefficient of x squared? It's negative 1. What is the number being added that has no hint of an x within it? It's 16, so that's the C. And the fact that you can't see any x term means that you can imagine that there is a 0 multiplying by it. A 0 times it will make it 0, and when you add 0 it doesn't make any difference. That is why it is left out. That means that the B is 0. So comment 1474, if you get that a lot, it means you need to be very careful with your use of the quadratic formula. What does that being careful look like? It consists of reminding yourself that it's not about what's first, second, third, it's about the coefficients, and perhaps even using these little devices of writing the minuses as additions of a negative and physically putting the ones in there.